Hi Ed, hi Stacy.
Hi.
What was one of your most memorable experiences as a young adult?
Um, was probably getting laid off for the first time. I was 27 years old, and I just switched careers. I just started working for a dot com, a design firm, and it was possibly one of the best jobs I've ever had. Like I loved waking up in the morning and going to work, and I think there's a few jobs that you could be at where I think you feel like that. Like, in the beginning, there was a lot of money being thrown around, and like millions of dollars to make a website. And as soon as there was like more competition, the money started drying up, and so the dot-com bubble started bursting, and companies were like laying off left and right. And so my company laid off like 75% of the workers. It was about like over 100 people, and uh, it was just weird because we were kind of torn away from this community that you built, and there were many times where I spent like all-nighters working with some of these people, and so we were really tight, and so it felt like I was just like being torn away from my temporary family. So it was like psychologically and emotionally very distressing, and of course like financially, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do for money? How am I gonna pay for my new car, and how am I gonna pay my bills? So it was really stressful and taxing. I think during that time, I don't know if I've ever prayed so much, just to, find another new gig or find something that was similar. And it took a while, but I think, God was very faithful, and to this day, still have a job and stuff. So, looking back, although as stressful as it was, I think I'm better prepared for emotional and stressful times like that.
I feel like I had very good, I really enjoy my young adult life, and I think it started off, sometime in 2000. I was still in college, and I think finding CCH was probably like one of the best things that happened, and it led to many other blessings. And it was seriously a big blessing at that time because just finding that community, it was mostly young adults, just few the original members, and maybe member of 30 members or so when I first came, and to see the church just blowing up, tripling the size in a matter of months. It was just a really neat experience, to witness that kind of revival, and then the burst, it was just very thriving, and it was just such an exciting place to be. And not just being in that kind of atmosphere, but also just relationship that I built, people that I hung out with, and I feel that it was just encouragement that I received from the people that gave me the courage to pursue the next thing, which was to actually it caused me to move away from the community, which was to pursue music. I was graduating, senior when I came to that decision to pursue something completely different. It took a lot of courage, but it was the community that really, encouraged me to go for it. And so it did cost me to move away for a few years, and I think just my next chapter, my journey in the East Coast was just very life-changing too. And again, it was the people that I met in the East Coast, the relationship that I built, and sharing lives and just sharing wisdom, and just also journey back home a few years later, and to be back at CCH after being gone for a few years. That wasn't easy, but again, eventually we connected with all those old relationships, and here we are. I've now been here for about 12 years, and that's probably the longest I've ever been at a church. I feel I can't really pinpoint down to one thing, like I've never had anything traumatic experience like being laid off or anything like that, but I think I can say that like it's the people, the relationship that is what makes up for it, I guess.
We can't help ourselves, but hunt for more. It is designed for years we've waited.